Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. My name is Sahil, I'm a death metal musician and I'm also the author of the recipe book called Keto Life. And today I'm going to share 5 essential tips for you before starting keto. And if I'm being honest, even if you are currently on your keto journey, I think these tips will be useful for you. So anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get into it. Now before we get into today's video, I've got a couple of disclaimers. If you have any medical condition, please consult a doctor before starting any diet. Also, I am neither a doctor nor a nutritionist nor a personal trainer. I'm just a death metal musician who loves to cook and I've done the keto diet, so I'm here to share my personal wisdom with you. So please take it with a pinch of salt, maybe a grain of salt, heck, maybe take the whole bucket of salt. And of course, when it comes to diet, there is no one size fits all. Everyone is a little different, so you need to find the diet that works best for you. Honestly, I keep saying this, the best diet is the one that you can stick to and doesn't feel like a diet. That could be keto, that could be low carb, it could be paleo, it could be vegan, carnivore. That's not up to anybody else to decide but yourself. Tip number 1. Calories do matter. Yes, there is a whole section of the keto world that is against calories and counting calories, but the truth of the matter is, whether you count calories or not, calories do matter. And the proof really is in the pudding. If you scroll through the depths of the keto community on YouTube, you will find many people who stalled on keto, and in most cases it was because they were overeating. There are people who have also gained weight on keto because they haven't kept a track of their calories, and this is a real thing. At the end of the day, keto is a way of eating. It is one that leaves most people satiated and they are able to lose weight without counting calories. But that's not to say that calories don't matter. So if you ever find yourself stalled on keto, it's most likely because you are not counting your calories and you are probably just eating at maintenance. And there are a lot of people who do things like intermittent fasting. There are people who will track only their carbs and not the calories. All these things that people do are also in some way counting calories. It may not necessarily be weighing out every bit of food, but intermittent fasting removes a couple of meals from your entire day's food, and that is a calorie reduction at the end of the day. Similarly, when most people are counting carbs, that sort of is a way to also control the calories. So very important to keep in mind that calories still matter. Tip number 2. Not all fats are good and not all carbs are bad. Very often in the keto community, we are quick to demonize different foods. And I'm not going to get into that ethical debate. I have done it on another video. But like there are certain fats that are not recommended when you are doing keto, like nut oils or seed oils, sunflower oil, things like that. Similarly, not all carbs are bad. Eating, say, a green bell pepper or a red bell pepper, the carbs in those vegetables is not the same as carbs in, say, white bread or rice or a sweet potato. So it's, I think, very important to not be afraid of carbs when you're doing keto. So, for example, if you're eating fruits and vegetables and, fruits that are allowed on keto like berries, strawberries, more berries, I think it's okay to not be afraid of consuming those and to think that if you have a few extra carbs here and there from those fruits and vegetables, like it's some bad thing that's going to happen to you. It's not. Those are healthy foods. It's obviously not the same, like I said, as eating white bread or potato chips. They are very different carbs. Similarly, if you're eating high fat on keto, you don't necessarily want to be consuming vegetable oils. Instead, you'd rather get healthy fats from foods like salmon, avocado, or use oils like olive oil, coconut oil, ghee, butter. So, very important to know that not all fat is good and not all carbs are bad. Tip number 3. Keto is the absence of carbs and not the presence of fat. This is the fundamentals of the keto diet. Your body achieves a state of ketosis when it is deprived of carbs. not when you are biting down on a stick of butter or chugging MCT oil from the bottle. This is your Keto 101 really. The whole idea of the keto diet is to reduce the amount of carbs you consume so that your body shifts over to burning fat for fuel. And this does not mean you go crazy on the fats. At the end of the day, like I said, it is still calories. You just want to have the balance in your diet where most of your calories are coming from the fat. Like I said, you do not need to chug MCT oil from the bottle or eat sticks of butter. Just balance. It's at the end of the day, the keto diet works best when it is a balanced diet. You have your 20 to 30 grams of net carbs coming from good wholesome foods. You have healthy fats in your diet, which constitutes the majority of your calories, and you eat a sufficient amount of protein. And that's pretty much it. It is the absence of carbs that put you in a state of ketosis and not drinking the MCT oil from the bottle. Put that bottle down. Tip number 4. Don't be afraid of protein. For a long time, people were made to fear eating too much protein on the keto diet. And I'm not even going to get into the science of things. I'm sure you can find a lot of videos explaining the whole science. But at the end of the day, if you eat a little extra protein, it's not the end of the world. Obviously don't eat an entire cow in a day. That's obviously not going to be good no matter what diet you are on. But have a good amount of protein with your meals. Don't be afraid of it. Eat healthy fats, have a few carbs from your fruits and veggies, and you're good to go. I think it's important to realize that protein is not your enemy. And in fact, if you actually look at most of the keto influencers today, or even a lot of the keto websites, you will see a very noticeable shift to a higher protein version of keto. More and more keto channels and keto websites and resources and all that are starting to focus on consuming more protein. So obviously that should tell you something. But either way, don't be afraid of protein. It's all good. And my 5th and final tip, ladies and gentlemen, is focus on building muscle and less on losing weight. Now, obviously, if you are morbidly obese, if you are extremely overweight, I think this is something that you should not be thinking about right now, because for you it's more about changing your habits and just getting into a healthier lifestyle. But if you are down to say your last 10 or 15 pounds, I think it's important to focus more on building muscle. Go to the gym or buy a pair of dumbbells and work out at home. Resistance training is super important. And I've said this before, when you lose weight, you're losing water weight, you're losing fat, and you're also losing muscle. And at the end of the day, you'll probably just look like a shrunken version of yourself. And trust me, guys, there's a lot of myths around going to the gym or lifting weights. People think, oh, I'm going to look like a bodybuilder. Trust me, if it was that easy to look like a bodybuilder, everybody would be. But you could be lifting weights for 3, 4, 5 years and you would look nothing like a bodybuilder. So don't be afraid of the gym or weights. Start lifting something. Lift something. Lift the furniture in your house and walk around. Do some kind of resistance training and you will thank me for it later. Because if you build muscle, that is just a much better thing to do than to just, lose weight and just look like all. And of course, there is a lot of benefit to this. But again, there are videos that will tackle this topic in depth. All I can tell you is it's something to think about. It is something I feel that I wish I knew when I had started keto. So those are my 5 tips in a nutshell. I hope you found them entertaining, if not educational. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say in this video. I guess that's been enough jibber jabber from me, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Until then, cheers and keep cooking. We forget